Very, very much, and good luck and congratulations to those competing in the games. All right, so let's see how that goes. And as Valen said, let's show them our love. Before the news bulletin at 8 o'clock, we were asked some vital questions by an exceptionally confident and well-spoken young schoolgirl. She was absolutely incredible. I think she's already taken her seat. But just in a matter of speaking and to paraphrase, she was just talking about transportation for school children, particularly in the Eastern Cape. Some learners still going to school and mud huts being their reality, and also the issue of sanitary towels and why women, particularly focusing in on schoolgirls, still have to suffer not having them and also being taxed on them. And I think it's a good question and an important question to you, Minister. Would you like to take that?
Yeah, I'm going to start delegating a little bit.
Good.
So Mr. Makajane will answer the questions on transport in the Eastern Cape and the mud schools. And with your permission, I'm going to invite the MEC for Finance from KwaZulu-Natal, Ms. Scott, who's with us here this morning. They've taken the first bold step in providing sanitary pads for schoolgirls. So she'll give you an example of how they're doing it, and we hope to learn from that experience and widen that to the rest of the country as well.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you very much, Leon. Thank you, Minister. The question is a very, very good question because it points to the challenges that we're having. And I'm going to take a little bit longer to answer the question. We have not as yet found ourselves as government in sorting that problem of school transport. Two problems arise. The function is still shared between the Department of Transport, 6 provinces, and other 3 provinces. The function is with the Department of Education. We're not as yet sure as to who should be doing this. And so we don't have a framework, a policy framework that actually addresses this. And I'm happy that this question is being asked by a learner who's directly affected by the indecisiveness that we have. So and I take that as a criticism, and I take it fully and say we have to do something about it as government. So firstly, it's important that you're raising it, and secondly, you have to do something about it, and there's no excuse as to why we don't have. We cannot even think about a proper conditional grant. Remember, a conditional grant is money specified and allocated for a specific function. It's ring-fenced. The thinking is that transport should do it. The thinking is that it should be a grant so that then all the problems that you've identified are addressed in a particular and specific way. Secondly, in terms of mud schools, again, we have set aside almost 36 billion rand in this program over the next 3 years. But you're saying there are mud schools. Yes, they are there. Why? Underspending in provinces, because there's a conditional grant again directly to provinces. Our delivery mechanisms should change. Our improvement, our school improvement program should actually change to make sure that we address these challenges. And there's no excuse after so many years to not be able to or to still have mud schools. So again, thank you very much for having raised that. And finally, I just thought, let me mention this. Minister mentioned yesterday that a school was costing us 70 million for a 7,500 square meter school. And through the procurement centralization process that we've undertaken under the office of the OCPO, we managed to bring that cost down to 34 million. So I think it's important, it's something that must be commended, that at least we can stretch that rent in order to make sure that more schools are being built. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. The Minister and I come from the activist province, KwaZulu-Natal, and I can really say very proudly that we don't just talk. We've started rolling out free sanitary towels for children. KwaZulu-Natal is very much a rural province. Geographically, it's huge, but we're starting the program. We're allocating between now and the end of the financial year. 20 million has been allocated to it, with another 60 million for the next financial year. It's a new program, and we aim to be able to deliver to at least 1.5 million young girls.
Wonderful.
So it can be done.
Yeah.
We'll show you.
Unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. I saw those packs. It warmed my heart. It was an absolutely incredible thing to see, and I accolade you for it. But Minister, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Although that's what you were doing all
I'm
of
doing it
this
again.
morning.
But now I remember, because I feel more passionately about this than I do about most things. Why are we still taxed on sanitary ware? Why do women have to pay for an essential item, like whether it be tampons, pads, and any other sanitary ware? Why is VAT still included in that?
Because we have a very simple and elegant VAT system, which ensures that there aren't too many exemptions or zero-rated products. And that has actually helped us to optimize the collection of VAT at the end of the day. So the general principle in taxation is don't set a tax and then keep saying these are all the million exemptions. That's what you'll see in countries like the United States. Each time a piece of legislation is passed, a particular lobby will lobby for their position, and an exemption is then granted as part of that legislation. So the second point in public finance is that when you want to serve a particular cause, do it on the expenditure side. Right? Because if you, for example, take away VAT, then even the well-off are benefiting from the exemption from VAT. Use the same money to target the schoolgirls or the rural areas. And I think what KZN is doing is beginning that process of targeted assistance. And in South Africa, in public finance for a long time, that's the approach that we've been using.
And it'll never change? Will it change? Can it change?
No. If it needs to change, we'll change it. That's not the issue. Which is the most efficient way of targeting assistance to those who need it? That's the question.
Okay.
Right? And so it's, again, this is the slogan versus the reality.
Yeah.
Right? Remove VAT on this, remove VAT on the other. But that's not the issue. The issue is who has affordability challenges, and can that affordability challenge be addressed outside of the tax system, or does it require change in the tax system itself? That's the issue.
All right. Let's get another question. Well, before we get this, there was a competition, and if anybody was watching Morning Live yesterday, we managed to have 4 of the finalists on the show talking to us about some of their ideas as to the budget speech competition, and they each had their basic topic, and I think the one was covering education, and the other one was covering health, and those were for undergrads and postgrads. Well, last night, the winners were announced. The minister was there himself, and I think I'm not sure if you were one of the judges or if you had a chance to read any of their speeches, but you were hosting the evening.
No,
you were there.
we only get forced to answer their questions.
Which is great, because we've got them here. We've got the 2 winners that are with us today, and perhaps they can give us some ideas as to how we can improve those 2 important aspects. So here's our first winner. Please introduce yourself to us, and congratulations from all of us here at...
Thank you so much. Thank you. My name is Tolani Mazomba. I'm from the University of Johannesburg. I'm from the University of Johannesburg. I'm the winner of this year's postgraduate category.
And received a check for?
No, I won't disclose that. Tax purposes. It's a check for 150,000. Just before I say anything about the competition itself, I wanted to add something with regards to the sanitary towels. I think we can make this a social responsibility issue. Instead of just saying, can we not tax the pads and stuff, can we not just, when you go to Pick n Pay, for example, and buy your groceries, can you not just buy a pack of pads and just drop it in a box somewhere where someone can just pick it up and distribute it to the affected schools? So with regards to our topic, we had to comment on the feasibility of the NHI. This is the postgraduate category. So my findings were that at the moment, we're very pressed as far as the fiscus is concerned. So I recommended that the Treasury should focus on bringing the debt down and then trying to improve economic growth. And then from that, we improve employment so that we have a bigger tax base. Then we can use that as a source of financing for the NHI. So the question that I have for the Minister now is, what is the progress on on the pilots that have been rolled out on the NHI?
Well, as we indicated in the speech, and I don't have the entire bits of information that we require, but the pilot projects enabled the Department of Health to understand what it meant to get the contracting of general practitioners right, what kind of basic package of services need to be offered, what are the structural or organizational changes that are going to be required in order for NHI to work. And building on that experience, we now move on to phase 2, establish the fund, find some money during the course of the year to put into the fund. They've done fascinating work in terms of what learners require at poor schools, and I mentioned that yesterday as well. Spectacles, hearing aids, and oral hygiene are the 3 big issues that have actually emerged from that study. And so in addition to maternal care and care for people who have mental illnesses of one kind or another, that's the basic package that phase 2 will start dealing with once we set up the fund and begin to extend the experience from the pilots. So NHI is on its way, and it's a process of learning by doing.
I'm happy. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. There's our other winner there. So congratulations to you as well. And tell us firstly your name and then what it was that you sort of proposed in your essay.
Morning, everyone. I'm Rafael Ngarachu from the University of Witwatersrand. I'm the winner in the undergraduate category. And our main question was about education, and my main point through my essay was about how we've unintentionally nurtured a high-cost, low-performance education system. For a country that spends more on education than most other low-income African countries who spend less per capita of GDP on education, somehow our quality of education seems to be really lacking. So I posed some recommendations, but what do you believe are the necessary resource inputs to give us that higher level of education that we so desperately need?
Again, I want to take you back to what the Deputy Minister was saying let's look at the education value chain as a whole, from early childhood education, primary, secondary, tertiary, and training institutions. I think as a whole, we contribute quite a significant percentage of GDP into that system as a whole. But the way we distribute that money and the efficiency with which we spend it, the school building program is one example. If you're paying double the amount that you should be paying to build the same size school, then we have a serious problem in this country. But we also need to move out of the first phase where access was an issue to a phase where we say quality of outcome is the issue that we're actually looking for. And as you correctly pointed out last night, we need to invest a lot more in upgrading the educators and creating better management of schools as well, so that we have, similar to the TVET colleges, and so that we get better outcomes out of the process. So my view is that there's still a lot of money in the system to be used properly, and so more money isn't necessarily the solution. We've got to learn how to spend that money more effectively, and maybe some of the business community here should come into government and teach us how to be a lot more frugal and meticulous and rigorous about how we spend public funds and get much better outcomes.
All right.
We're waiting for volunteers. You can ask them.
Minister, I believe that last night our former finance minister was there as well at this particular award ceremony. But can we get a microphone very quickly to our former Finance Minister Trevor Manuel here in the front?
Yeah, make him work this morning.
Yeah, I'm going to make him work, give you a break. You were saying that you feel that this competition should actually extend further than just the budget and should involve monetary policy as well. Talk to us about that. And also, good morning to you. So nice to see your face again.
Good morning, Leanne. Good morning to all of you. This is a great competition. It's been running for 44 years. They say 45, but I know it's 44 because it didn't take place in 1 year. And, the winner of the 1982 competition still works in the National Treasury. He used to have the job that Dondo Mogojani has now, public finance. competent, great public servants are produced in this, people who care, and people who reproduce skills. And Andrew Donaldson was one of the early winners of the competition. And so part of what we'd like to do as Old Mutual Nedbank is not just do it once a year. We need constant interaction because you can see the quality of students we have. And the greater the quality of students, the greater the quality of discourse. We as South Africans need to get to the point where it's not only those who make the loudest noise or are most destructive who actually are heard in the process. We need to hear good ideas, drive a bargain. That social compact that the Deputy Minister was speaking about earlier needs to be reproduced, and we need ideas at the very center of that. And we can only do it if we create opportunities that are non-curricular, but help us resolve the problems. So the first, we've set the task to students to help us resolve how we take this forward. And the other idea is an idea being taken up with the Reserve Bank, because monetary policy is also, it comes across a bit of a black box. People don't quite know how the Monetary Policy Committee decides when to increase interest rates or not. And so we'd like our students involved in the process so that we as South Africans talk about these issues a lot more, understand the policy-making process, and take collective ownership of what happens, so that when the Minister of Finance or the Central Bank Governor get up and speak, more South Africans know what the issues are about and know what the impact is in their lives.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
You very much.
Knowledge. Thank you very, very much. Trevor Manuel, of course, being the chairperson now of Old Mutual, great position that you have got there. And I'm sure you were not happy hearing about that 1.5 million annual salary tax, suddenly a little bit poorer today. All right.
It's his idea, actually.
Was it his idea? That was nice of you. Very nice of you. Let's take a break here on the program. We've got so many more questions, lots more to come here on the broadcast. And what I'm loving most of all is that it's all the students and particularly the learners from school that have jumped up to these microphones that are desperate to put their views across. Stay tuned.